we OG, we OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. Wish you seen your go be, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We are live for the Ordinal Hour, and this one is going to be pretty nuts because what has happened over the past weekend, I think, changed the landscape. I think it changed everything now. I think that we're going to start entering a hodl cycle. And what does that mean? I think the pump and dumps are over. Yesterday, we had someone from a podcasting industry and another industry. They launched a token. It went up and went down very quickly. I think we're finally getting out of that, right? And Solana is really taking a hit because that was Solana's bread and butter, right? That was Solana's thing. These pump and dump situations, these pump and dump tokens. I mean, even Trump was technically a pump and dump, right? Everything, all the scrap. Trash that has been implemented in the last 2-3 months, these celebrity coins, they're finally getting to an end here, and you just feel it in the air, you feel it in the industry, and we're kind of getting back to this hodl culture again, whether that's runes or tokens on Ethereum or other places. I think it's going to be going away from Solana over to these other ecosystems, and you can see it on a timeline. People are basically, especially runes guys, they're basically saying, hey, like, lo-fi isn't that bad. You actually have time to think about your decisions and stuff like that, which is kind of funny in a way. You're kind of promoting slow transactions, right? So, but we're going to get into that a little later. We're going to get into a lot of different things. The FTX thing is absolutely massive. We're going to get in that in a little bit. And then I'm going to point some fingers at Jupiter and was it Meteora? And we're going to do a lot of talking through things here. So without further ado, we bring in my partner here, as always, Miss Siriago B. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
So the markets are open today, which means the big boys are playing again. Yesterday was President's Day here in the U.S. The big boys weren't allowed to play, but they're here today. And they came in violent this morning. They took the price down from 61.2 all the way down to about 95.1. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're sitting there looking at the charts, it didn't look as pretty as you wanted it to, right?
Yeah, and it was actually a really good setup for them, in my opinion, right? I mean, we had the stuff over the weekend, which was really just bad news for the entire space. But then you have like a possible catalyst with the FTX funds getting paid back, right? But you have to remember, it's the smaller accounts that got paid back. And anybody that had 50,000 or less are the ones that got paid back. So even though people might have started the day with the mindset of bullishness, I think they looked at it as opportunity to kind of short the chart, right? And you had market makers that probably felt the same way because you could see Bitcoin's price kind of rise before TradFi or that like at 9:30 bell Eastern, right? And then all of a sudden, bam, you see this huge downpour and downtrend for Bitcoin's price action. So yeah, let's see how long they decide to take it down because the S&P looked pretty strong. I don't know if it's still continuing that uptrend, but Bitcoin tends to follow, tradition TradFi a bit in terms of that sense, right? But we'll see what happens for the rest of today.
Yeah, man, 100%. But let's get into the shit show a little bit before we get into some good stuff. Jupiter stated that no one in Jupiter or Meteora were involved in any insider trading or financial wrongdoing, and they're hiring a law firm. Usually guilty people are the ones who hire law firms, right, to investigate publish a report regarding the Libra. So I wouldn't hire a lawyer unless I thought I was guilty. All right.
Well,
So
I mean, there's tons of accusations going around, right?
yeah,
And there's people that are looking for people to blame for the situation, and I think there's definitely a lot of parties that probably will end up in that category of guilty or to blame, right? But we just don't have the information. So I actually think it's probably smart for them to lawyer up. They have a business model that probably generates a lot of fee revenue, right? So they want to protect their assets as well in terms of their revenue and all that stuff. So I actually think it's smart for them to do that. Now, what the investigation comes up with and is because I think they do this in case it goes to court, right? Like they want to make sure that they're crossing all their T's and dotting all their I's. Now, Jupiter and Meteora are two different entities, but I believe Meteora is under the Jupiter kind of umbrella, right? So we're learning more and more, but it's definitely this kind of black, a little bit of a black eye on the space right now. I'd like to move forward past it, but I think we just got to get through all the facts and details first.
100%. But wait, there's more. Meteora co-founder Ben Chow has chosen to resign from his position. He's probably multimillionaire at this point. Probably just like, you know what, I'm just done with this. Like I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I'm gonna take my coins because he probably got a bunch of Jupiter coins and everything else, right? And kind of retire for a little while or maybe start another project. I don't know, but he's done now with the Jupiter and Meteora teams.
That is also something that's a bit fishy in my opinion, right? Because it's like if you didn't do anything wrong, then why are you resigning? And I feel like he's getting pressure probably from the people that are in charge of Jupiter, saying, "Hey, look, it's like there's probably a fine line. It's like, okay, you might not have made any illegal actions or anything like that, but some of these bad judgment calls could be thrown into like testimonial and stuff like that if it goes to court, right? And so I think they're just really Jupiter probably their biggest wish right now would be to kind of move forward from this, and maybe this is a decision that this is part of the decision of him stepping away, but it just smells horrible, like all of it, right? Like resigning because like you only resign if you're in a position to where I feel like you get pressured to.
Yeah, 100%.
Here,
could he have been the one that was initiating these KOLs, initiating these leaks of information?
So I don't know about the leaks and all that stuff, but I do know that they worked with the top. So there's two different categories of I think people in the space right now that are being really zoomed in on. One are like the deployer groups, and these deployer groups are kind of like almost kind of like capital firms or whatever in our space, right? And so they have capital because they have to market make as well, but they also have sniper teams, right? And the sniper teams is where the problem I think comes in at. And then you have the KOL. So the deployer companies or whatever, they actually search for the KOLs, right? So that's kind of under them. But I think it's more of the coordination of the deployer groups and these platforms that people are having. That's where the trouble starts, right? And then like sniping your own coin that you're the deployer group of that's operating this, heading this operation. So I think that's where a lot of this displeasure and stuff from the space is coming from. And, it's forced, it seems like, Ben Chow to step down.
Yeah, 100%. Looking forward to this whole mess to be over and kind of hopefully Solana ends up, getting that black eye and kind of being not so much as the darling anymore, right? And we
Yeah.
kind of move on to these other, maybe Ethereum L2s, maybe Bitcoin L1, who knows, right? But kind of move along from Solana. I think Solana needs some time to rest and recover from this, and I think that it can come back. Solana has been resilient in the past, and that probably definitely will come back. But I think it needs some time to kind of go backwards for a little bit before it can take a step forward.
Yeah, and if they have like an ecosystem of builders that they all communicate with each other, probably focus more on making crypto more adopted by the masses, right? So add more
Yeah,
substance. I would say should be like their new motto of builders over there. But you have people on the timeline that are arguing, hey, this is decentralization. This is what we've been asking
yeah,
for this entire time. If you want centralization or you want financial entities to have custody over what you can and can't do, go to the bank. But I also think that like, decentralization works like in good conditions, right? Like obviously you don't want to have control. Decentralization is basically the description is like not no centralized entities having control over it, but that's where chaos can come in, and I think that's what
yeah,
we're experiencing right now. Eventually regulations do kind of go more to a like, there's got to be some sort of central authority that like polices things up and stuff like that. I think that the true nature of like decentralization is just not like middlemen stealing, from like artists or musical artists that want to put like musical files out there to the public, and they can facilitate themselves that way. So give the
yeah.
power to where it needs to be, and maybe like clean up the be more of a, I guess, like encourage more of better practices, even if you can't just control every single part of it.
100%. And how do you feel about something like this? How do you feel about, let's just say, the Barstool guy, Dave Portnoy? Let's say he wants to drop a coin, and he dropped it on a centralized exchange like Kraken. And they said, hey guys, we're doing this so there's no sniping, there's no nothing, but you can withdraw as soon as you buy it, but you have to buy it on Kraken. So you go to the exchange, you send your Solana to the exchange, you buy it on there, no sniping. Everything is, in a centralized environment, right? And then that's how you buy the token. With something like that, do you think kind of changed the game a little bit? If Trump launched on, let's just say, Coinbase on day one, and the first liquidity pool was on Coinbase.
So I think that if they can prove it, right, by being transparent about all the transactions and all that stuff
Yeah,
pre-launch and, throughout the entire launch, right, until it gets to a stabilization point. Yeah, I think that could help the public, because that's the
yeah,
problem. It's more of like the public that are thinking that like, oh, I want to be a part of this innovative process of society going towards
yeah,
digital assets. But then whenever they hear about this, they're like, I don't want anything to do with that. You know what I mean? So, and it would be their prerogative, like the centralized exchange, to do something like that. So you might have your protesters that are like, oh,
yeah,
decentralization and all this stuff is best and all that stuff. But then like when the public gets hurt and retail doesn't come over because there's just no chance for them to even have little wins, then what's the best choice for the industry, right? So I
yeah,
think we got to really think about that for the long term.
yeah,
Because I'll tell you the short term right now, from an outside looking in, I'm glad that like, I don't have a bunch of my normie friends hitting me up about, oh, Libra token, what the heck's happening over there,
yeah.
right? Like it's not to the point to where it's like FTX, which is good for our space, but it could get there, if this continues. So
Yeah. So like normal coins, I don't think need this, right? But like if a president of a country wants to launch a coin, I think that should be done in a centralized way. Only for the fact that if it, I mean, it went to $4 billion in seconds when crashed down to 200,000. That's not good for anything. It's not good for the president. It's not good for the space. It's not good for the users. Nothing like that. So if we can just centralize those big ones, and then bring them on chain, I think that's the better way. I mean, if I don't want like the cuck token yesterday or some shit like that. That's stupid. That can stay on chain, right? Like, but like going forward, like let's just say the president of Italy wants to drop a coin. Maybe do it through Kraken or something, right? Maybe do it in a very centralized way and then bring it on chain. That way, But then you could say maybe Kraken makes off like bandits. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Well,
don't know how.
I,
I don't like these coins. Period. I think they should just go away. But
yeah, so really quick, there's other industries that are considered kind of commodities, right? And I bring up the collectibles
yeah,
industry, the tangible collectibles industry. But with like trading cards, like, some of these are worth millions of dollars, right?
yeah,
But they've gone through similar situations to where there's been like online whenever online became big and the people
yeah.
were trading online or doing sort of like these, razes online or, just like stores online and to where they were scamming people that were paying
Yeah.
them thousands of dollars, not sending the cards and stuff. What ends up happening over there, which I really hope that's something that we could do over here, is they start policing each other and they become
Yeah.
smart, right? So they're like, don't fall for these scams, don't fall for these scams, don't fall for these scams. Those scammers actually get blacklisted, and it's harder to do over here with like anonymous approach, but maybe we got to figure something out to where the community cleans up the space until like some regulatory, I guess, actions can come in or
The
whatever.
problem with that is kind of what we've seen from a community that already in our space, where they just call FUD on everything, right? And then we get everyone's a cop on cop on the beat, and everyone committed a crime. It's just if doing that gets a little ridiculous, right? But I do get what you're saying, but I don't think in the sense of launching celebrity meme coins that really, I just don't think that that's kind of like the same thing, right?
Well, I mean, I think it's just in general, like you would want
Yeah.
people to, try to point out, and like also that means like, uplift the ones that are doing the right thing too. Like we don't do that enough, I feel
But
like.
none of
You
these
know what I
guys
mean?
in the celebrity meme coin game are doing the right thing. It's all
No, well,
scams.
I'm
It's
not.
all
I'm not talking about.
disgusting.
So I'm not talking
Oh,
about
what?
celebrity meme coins.
That's
I'm
kind of
talking
what I
about.
was talking.
I was talking about our space in general because like this affects the overall space too. Like in terms of a black eye from
Yeah.
the outside, right? So yeah, the celebrity
Yeah.
meme coin thing, like just don't be stupid. Like
Just
in my
don't play.
opinion, yeah, just like know that like it's not going to work out for the
No.
public, and stay away from it. Like be
Yeah.
smart, use your brain cells. That's what I would say. Like,
Yeah. And if you wanted to gamble, throw $100 in, fine. Just don't throw 1,000 in. Don't be stupid, right? So
I would say don't even throw 100 in, but it is what it is. I mean, people are
I mean, if
gonna
you're okay with
gamble.
losing 100, then do that. But all right, moving along here. This is something I have a question for you about. Elon Musk Doge announces audit into Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) for fraud, abuse, and waste. Can we see Gary Gensler maybe getting arrested for some fraud, abuse, and waste in the coming months when this is all being investigated?
I mean, if they find stuff, right? Of
Do
course,
you think that? I guess my question would be: do you think they're going to find something?
I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Gary Gensler is he's not an idiot. He's a professor at MIT, so I'm sure that he was able to get around like the calendar schedulings with SBF and all these things that kind of I guess mask that, right? So it's
Yeah.
not like public information. So I imagine that he is probably prepared for this type of day, right?
Yeah.
So regardless, if it does get found out though, and that there was corruption happening, then I think they're gonna try to take it to, unless did he receive a pardon? I don't think he did.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, I look, it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of this.
Yeah.
But if it does, yeah, I think people are going to want that to go to the next level.
To me, this is a way to get to Elizabeth Warren. I think Elon's doing this to kind of get those emails that were sent from the senator to the SEC chairman. I think we are going to find some stuff in there. I really do. I think that just because you delete an email doesn't mean that email is going forever. And I think these guys at Doge are going to find some stuff, man. I truly believe that. I truly believe there was heavy corruption in the last 4 years through the senators and the SEC.
And FTX probably, right? I mean, and
Well,
then
yeah.
you had like Maxine Waters also kind of being involved. There's a lot of senators that were involved. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see all the stuff come to surface.
100%. FTX begins repayments to verified customers today, starting with small amounts claims with under $50K. So it has begun. $16 billion is about to come on the markets in the sense of stable coins. Everything was sold down into stable coins, so nobody's getting actual crypto here, which means they have two options. They can either buy crypto or they can cash out. I think the majority of these people getting these funds are going to be buying Ethereum today. They're going to be buying Bitcoin today. They're going to be buying Solana today. And I feel like a lot of them were waiting for this money for a long time. We're, in my opinion, we're still in this very early stages of the bull market. And I think a lot of people believe that as well. But so what do you think? Is money going to bank accounts? Is this money going to crypto?
Uh, it's gonna be tough to tell. I think
Yeah.
playing the conservative side, you could say, maybe like 30 to 40% go back into the markets. People might leave it in stable for a while until they get like an indicator for a catalyst that's really igniting the alt season. And so this is good news though that it comes into stable, because it really is upside only, right?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it was going to be all stable, but it makes sense because they're giving them the amount that the tokens were evaluated at, or what their value were at the time. And so now it's kind of like these stables are either going to be withdrawn to their bank account, or a certain percentage, which we know there's going to be a certain percentage that go back into the market. Right now, how much effect do we have today? I don't know. 50,000 and below, probably not as much. But then once we hit the next two levels, that's where I think like all season could be ignited by this.
Yeah, 100%. You got to remember who these people were. These were the people that were holding crypto in November of 2022. Holding crypto in November 2022, even October, let's just say before FTX fell, right? It was still
after
pretty
Luna.
freaking low. Yeah, it's pretty freaking low. So the people that were in crypto in November of 2022 are diehard crypto guys, in my opinion. Some of them might just been in stables just to hold it. Maybe they got paid in stables, something like that. And we know someone who had a couple $1 million in stables that were just sitting on an FTX for being stupid. But the other people that were there holding the crypto, who the crypto did get sell down, they want redemption. They want to earn. They want to be a part of this. Maybe some of them, are waiting for this money to pay bills or, pay down debt and stuff like that. You might see some of that, but I think it's more 80-20. I think 80% of this money, 80% of the 16 billion, so let's just say $12 billion, comes rushing in the crypto in the next 10 to 15 days.
That's a lot, man. That's a very optimistic view of 80%. But
I'm just going off by the people who were in crypto November of 2022. That was a tough time to be in crypto, even before FTX went down. You know what I mean? Like, it was
true.
Those people are they're like us. They are us. You know what I mean? They're you, they're me. There are people in our comments right now. They're the people who want to change their lives and see crypto as that opportunity. They ain't people who's gonna, like I said, might see some of those people, take the money out because they gotta, they put themselves in debt waiting for this money or something like that. But a lot of them, I think, are gonna come back in crypto, and they're gonna see Ethereum sitting there at 2,600. They're gonna see maybe some Bitcoin coins that they wanted to buy, and they finally got the money to buy. A lot of people, they're very bullish on this ecosystem, and they've been waiting for this money to kind of get in.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, most of these people probably already have put their additional capital into the markets, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost kind of like an airdrop in a sense for them, right?
Exactly.
Those degen minded people will definitely redeploy. But will they go back into like majors? Will they go back into the blue chips, or will they look for the micro caps, and say, okay, well, I want, maybe this first wave goes into micro caps or like new hot projects because it's 50,000 and below. But maybe the next couple of waves, so we might have to wait till the next one or the third one to really ignite like these blue chips, these majors, because maybe the liquidity gets deployed into those because they might be a little safer. They have a larger amount.
Well, let me ask you. Let's just say you got airdrop $20,000 USDT. How much of that is going to your bank account? And how much of that is going to crypto? Be honest.
I would say probably like 75%, 70% is going into, but it wouldn't be just like, whatever's hot right now, like microcap wise. It would be something that's newer
right now.
I would say something that's like showing like stability, right? A lot of stability. Something like hyper liquid, something like in terms of the newer tokens.
Well,
and
I'm thinking ETH. Like ETH's beaten down. Like I'm going after the stuff that's been really wrecked. I'm talking dog. I'm talking maybe some runes. I'm talking stuff that's really has not got to all-time highs yet. I mean, potentially Matic, right? Potentially stuff that really could rip in the next couple months. And for me, if I got airdropped $20,000, I would put that in entirely 100% in the crypto right now, right? So, but I just did that. I got a Magic Eden airdrop. It's 100% in crypto. right?
Yeah.
Like I sold down the AME and I'm in other stuff, right? I just bought some more Sonic today. So to me, it's like I would 100% like I mean maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know, but
Yeah, I would probably leave like 25% in stables just to have to deploy,
opportunity.
whenever
But
some,
still,
yeah, exactly.
you're thinking top of your
Yeah.
head is
Yeah, I
going
wouldn't
into
send anything back to the bank right now. I just feel like it's not the right
exactly my
time.
point. It's not. You do not want to sell, especially on a day like today or a day like tomorrow where everything's red. You buy on red days, you sell on green. That's kind of
Yeah.
how it goes, right? So so FOMO, which is a big news outlet, they actually reported and have had screenshots. FTX officially has started paying out creditors, so it is happening as we speak. They're landing in a Kraken account. So how it's working is, once you signed up to get this money, you had to give them a Kraken account, right? And that Kraken account is linked to you, so that way is 100% KYC and all that stuff. So you're getting your repayments back and everything. So every single person that's getting repaid has a Kraken account, and every single person will be getting USD. I want to say it's Tether, but I'm not 100% sure. But moving along here. Okay, so multiple Reddit users reported receiving their FTX payment. So it's coming on all social media now. So that is happening. Moving along, though, from that, Tether plans to acquire 51% stake in South American energy firm Adakogor. How do you say that?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Adek
I'm not sure
Uh,
what company that is, but this is something that we've seen Tether do though in the
yeah.
past. I think they
Well,
invested
not
in
like this.
well, they've invested in hydro electricity in South America or Central America that is directly related to like mining facilities. They have been really like strategically purchasing like assets, right, in the real world, right, business assets, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm bullish on them, is because they don't they have a lot of entities under them and
A lot
they
of
get a
money.
lot of hate thrown at them.
Yeah.
But I think this is bullish, man. This is really bullish for Tether. I need to dive deeper and figure out what this deal is actually. 51% though, they're majority owner.
1.2. They own the company. They make all the decisions now. Tether walked in and said, "We're the captain now." This company does not have any Bitcoin mining, but they do flaring. So what I'm hearing is to stop flaring, which is terrible for the environment, which is it's burning extra gas up that's unused. They're, instead of using that, they're going to be actually using that extra gas to power Bitcoin miners, which will until earn Bitcoin, so the company earns more revenue. And so now Tether has bought a company that does not do mining that now will probably produce Bitcoin. I don't know. Tether, it just seems like Bitcoin mining and energy companies are matches made in heaven, right? Because it's like, yeah, we'll
Yeah.
power a city, but anything extra will go into Bitcoin, which can help power the city even more, right? You become like a Bitcoin powered city because technically that company is earning Bitcoin and that company is powering the city, which means the company is profitable, which energy could get better and better and better for the people living in that city. More profitable the company is, without taking it might even get energy cheaper for the people that live there, right? Because
Yeah.
now you have to say your energy bill could drop in half because they're earning so much with mining Bitcoin.
Yeah, so this is excess energy, right? And so
Yeah.
they're basically reallocating it and making earning off of it. So this is brilliant. This is really really so not surprised. Again, Tether's been making moves like this for a long time.
100%. Here's a warning that goes out. If I know a lot of you guys came with us and played with Abstract. Abstract wallets are being drained. Well, it's over now. This is something from this morning. But if you interacted with Cardex, withdraw your funds immediately and enable a 2FA on your wallet. So what basically happened, Cardex had something in the code that was wrong. Abstract is saying it wasn't Cardex's fault, but it's being fixed, and it is fixed now. So go check your Abstract account. Make sure you guys, I personally didn't even hear about Cardex until this morning, so I didn't play with that. I'm only really playing with the stuff that's in the Discover, and I didn't see Cardex in there. This had to be something that like people were just playing with. But if you attached to your Abstract, but if you attach your MetaMask and you're using it that way with the Abstract, you were fine. It was only through the Abstract wallet, which is really weird. But definitely go check your stuff. And guys, I got the 2-factor on. It does suck. Every time I make a trade, I do have to go get my Google Authenticator code, and I'm like, crap. But I got a couple ETH on there, so it makes me feel safe. But what do you think about this? Is this something scary with abstract? Should we be worried, or you think it's just
so? I think
I
think it's a growing pain situation here. I like you wasn't affected to this because like I don't connect to anything outside of the abstract marketplace, right? And so because of that, like I was safe here. But 2FA, turn it on, right? Why not? Like it gives you extra security, and I think that 2FA is going to be more and more common with Web3 and Web2 kind of merging in the future. We heard about Google, deciding to kind of integrate Bitcoin payments and stuff into Web2. I think they're rolling out a product. There's going to be 2FA. I think is going to be a normalized thing in the future.
I agree 100%. Yeah, definitely go above and beyond with your crypto hygiene, guys. Make sure you guys are safe out there. And stuff like that's gonna happen, especially with newer projects. So I'm not really I'm not really surprised. But it is what it is. So Hong Kong investment firm HK Asia Holdings Limited shares surged 93% after disclosing a purchase of just one Bitcoin. So let me say this again. Hong Kong investment firm HK Asia Holdings Limited shares surged nearly 93% after disclosing its purchase of one Bitcoin.
Yeah.
What? So you're telling me if I was a publicly traded company, just say I bought one Bitcoin and I can double my stock price? Like,
well,
what is going on?
I think it's the first one in like the Chinese TradFi environment, and so this is the MicroStrategy effect, right? Hong Kong is a big financial hub, or it used to be the largest. I think Singapore might be the largest in Asia now, but it's still huge. And so people get have confidence. They grow their confidence in companies that are saying, "Hey, we're starting kind of their Bitcoin reserve." I know that one Bitcoin's not like a huge number, but this is just kind of a tease, in my opinion, to say, "Hey, look, this is what's about to happen." So bullish for companies that get into the Bitcoin, and I'm excited to see how it could affect something like GameStop because they've been talking about it as well.
Yeah, I got a feeling they're going to be buying this quarter. They don't have to announce it until the end of Q2, right?
Yeah.
So we're not going to see anything from GameStop potentially till April. I mean, they could come out and say, "Hey guys, we just bought Bitcoin," right? I mean, they could, and that would actually shoot the stock up. And that's probably what they would do once they do it, honestly, because why wouldn't they want their stock to pop on an announcement?
Exactly.
But moving along here, Elon Musk tweeted. This is interesting. Elon Musk tweeted earlier today. He said, looking for gold at Fort Knox, and then he posted this image, and it's gone. And then Michael Saylor comes in with a Bitcoin fixes this.
And did he reply to that?
I don't think so, but Elon said this gold is the property of the American people. I sure hope it's still there. What happens if they get in Fort Knox and the gold is not there? Because we had senators asking to go come see the gold, and Fort Knox told them no. And he's like, "I'm a senator," and they were like, "We don't care. We're the army." Like,
I mean,
but
Pete Hegseth could approve that, right? I don't know. I think that they probably got to be a bit careful here because I get being transparent, and I think that needs to happen. But I think there could be too much shock and awe, if everything gets rolled out at once to like the American people, and so that could really destroy markets and stuff like that, and people. I think with their logical side of their brain or like, okay, well then people are going to get out of gold and go into Bitcoin or whatever, but does it happen? Right? Or is like the Bitcoin's been kind of like following this macro sentiment a little bit, you know? So I just don't know. Like I'm scared for that day if that happens.
I'm not. I look forward to it. I think gold is shit metal. Like I used to cut metal for a living, right? And it's all the same. It's just it's just a harder version. I actually cut gold once. I made a little ring out of it, but every single drop of it had to, the shavings were just you had to vacuum them up and then go through them and make sure you got every little piece out. And it's just metal. It's just metal. It's stupid metal. Bitcoin is the best form of money that's ever existed. Bitcoin is we know how much exists. We know how much is missing. We know everything about it. It was 100% transparent. We got to get rid of the shiny rock. That's all it is, a shiny metal, shiny rock, and kind of go into this digital age that we're in. Everything else is digital. Why shouldn't our inflation hedge be that way as well?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some, conductivity properties and stuff that gold has that's better than other metals. There's different properties to it,
Not
but
really, though. I've messed with a lot of metals. I mean, you might like there's a little bit. There's other stuff out there that's actually better than gold
well,
that
I'm not
actually
saying
can be
that there's
used.
not, but it's one of the
Yeah,
better ones, and so, there's like industrial use cases like myself says here, so I wouldn't throw a blanket statement out there that says gold's just another metal. In terms of like
kind of is.
appearance and stuff like that, it's yellow, and stuff. That's like another metal, right? Just color characteristics, stuff like that. But like in terms of industrial uses and stuff, it definitely has its upsides. But again, for
It's
a
barely
hedge,
being used though, because it's just too overpriced. It's too expensive to use. You can't use it in like your smartphone because it would just be too. It would make the smartphone too expensive. They're finding other ways around it, using it, and actually creating, like almost like fake gold with the same properties, right? And I've seen that
yeah.
as well. Like
Well,
they're not
yeah,
they're not
like
putting gold in anything. It's too expensive.
so I mean, it's still in like motherboards and stuff like that. But I
Not
will say
anymore.
this.
Not
Uh,
the video ones.
well, I don't know. I didn't see that, but
Yeah, it's too expensive.
Blonde Bro says gold has anti-corrosion properties and can be drawn into extremely
So
thin
so
wires.
does titanium. Titanium is the best thing. That's why titanium goes into your hand and your body parts over gold. They're not Gold's just too expensive. Titanium is a way better metal than gold and has almost the same properties.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. All I know is that it
Yeah,
is
I do.
still used in the industry, and
Barely.
it's
I
still
don't even know if
like
that's
it's still
true
there.
anymore. I mean, I don't even know if it's true anymore. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
Especially over the last 5-10 years. So, but big banks and institutions have only just begun to get on board with Bitcoin, which means an extended bull run to come, according to Bernstein analysts. So the Bernstein is actually predicting we go into late 2026 with this upcoming bull run. Changes everything when you're thinking about it. Which, I mean, for somebody who's in the space right now in February 2025, definitely looks something. I mean, what if we hit peak September 2026?
I mean, that could happen, especially with this kind of slower start to
Yeah,
2025, right? And a lot of it has to do with just uncertainty with this new administration and stuff like that. And I feel like we're still getting through that, man. Like whenever there's yeah, sure. There's headlines with Libra and different like situations in our industry, but I feel like there's this kind of looming of like the world wants more confidence in what's
yeah,
happening with this administration, and I hope that by springtime we have more of a optimistic kind of perspective
yeah,
as the world. But it's just I don't know. I hope that happens.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I truly think that. I think that, this is going to be kind of a super cycle. And I feel like we haven't even begun yet. I mean, Jake Gallen was on the show the one day that you were out. And he basically was saying he thinks we're going to have, what we just seen. We went to 30,000, hung out for a while, went to 60,000, hung out for a while, went to 100,000, hung out for a while, potentially go up to 130, hang out for a while, and that be our cycle. And then eventually when we get to like 200, 300, we could see that altcoin cycle that we're kind of expecting. Maybe something like that happens. We got to wait maybe another 6 months.
So Q4.
Maybe, no, yeah. I mean, maybe wait till September, October before we start to get really bullish. I don't know.
I can't
It feels
imagine
that
that there
way.
won't be some sort of like thrust up with the alt market as well. Like,
Yeah.
even if it takes like April or May, and even if it doesn't last a long time, I think I just feel like there's got to be some sort of energy injected in. But like going back to the uncertainty, I think that there's going to be a time and point where the people that might not be happy about what is happening in the world right now with geopolitical landscape, that there's going to be a new normal, and they're going to be like, okay, this is the new normal. I might not be happy about it, but they're not going to think about it like consciously like that. It's just a subconscious thing, right? To where focus can be adjusted a bit. Hope that's like that. I know that's an optimistic viewpoint, but that is what I hope happens, because then that could play well into the late spring, early fall, and a strong Q4 to finish this year out, and then we'll see what happens in 2026.
Yeah, man, 100%. Looking forward to it. This is something really bullish. So Hyperliquid has launched Hyper EVM on its mainnet, integrating Ethereum virtual machine EVM capabilities directly into its layer 1 blockchain. So Hyperliquid is a layer 1. They're not EVM, but they now have this second chain that's basically being integrated. Hyperliquid is very centralized, so just keep that in mind. But now they're having these chains kind of combine. So think of it as like Coinbase and then Base Chain. Right? That's how I kind of see Hyper EVM kind of being. It's kind of its decentralized version of Hyperliquid, but everything kind of comes inside of each other, which is really weird to say out loud. But everything actually kind of adapts. Everything kind of adapts to each other, very similar to what Coinbase is doing with Base. Do you like this? Because I actually think this is the most bullish thing that I've read all day.
I do like it. I do like it because I think that they're really trying to compete with these centralized exchanges. They see that there's an opportunity right now. And I think Hyperliquid's team is very good. They're very good. They have a great strategy in terms of like we have this airdrop, but we don't want it to be like every other airdrop to where we airdrop everybody and the price dumps. We want to sustain our price of our coin. And after, like, people could sell it off, whatever, we're going to throw the fee revenue into stabilizing the coin price. Smart, because guess what? That gets people talking bullish about your token. And that's associated, that's like a branding approach, right? And then like with kind of like this new volume that's happening on the decentralized I guess realm, that's starting to really compete with the centralized exchanges. They see this opportunity, and I think it's huge. Now, Bitcoin layer 1 assets can benefit from this if like they kind of get brought on, and we're already starting to see discussions of it. But it's interesting to see what's going to happen here, because I would love for Hyperliquid to take the market from some of these centralized exchanges.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And like, let's just say, like, instance like Dog, for instance, we get it over to EVM, and now we can get it on Hyperliquid through the EVM side. Right. So, I mean, that's another very bullish thing. But this is really bullish for the Hype token, because now the Hype token actually has another utility. Spot transfers between a native and Hyper EVM Hype. Users can now perform spot transfers between native Spot Hype and Hyper EVM Hype tokens, so they're one-to-one, with Hype serving as the native gas token for the transactions. So Hype is the gas token for the Hyper EVM, which is one-to-one with the Hype token that is native to the Hyperliquid chain. So this is not an Ethereum EVM. Like, Ethereum is not the gas token. Hype is that gas token. That is massive. That is huge.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have to pay gas still for the spot trading on Hyperliquid application, right? But like, if there's another like decentralized exchange or something on their chain, then that's where you would pay the Hype gas.
Well, I think, yeah, in the centralized thing, I don't think there's a gas, because I think it's a centralized mode. But I think if you're doing anything on chain, very similar to what Base is doing, right, with Coinbase and Base, and now, but you're using the Hype token instead of Ethereum over there.
Yeah, so they say that their application isn't centralized. It's a like a chain app is what they're calling it. That's the marketing behind it. That's the thing that's saying that, like, they're competing with decentralized applications, right? So in that sense, like, you're depositing into it, right? So I get where you're saying and where you're coming from. So it's just really kind of like a play with words and stuff for them,
Marketing,
I guess.
Yeah. We as native chain users, as on-chain users, we know what's centralized and what's not centralized. No, they can't come out here and tell me they're not centralized. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're using on-chain. Their chain is centralized, just like, I mean, Binance Smart Chain is centralized, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they run all the nodes. So, I mean, yeah. So,
yeah, it's probably even a little different than that, because you're going to this deposit kind of situation.
Exactly. All right. Google exploring ways to simplify Bitcoin adoption. What does that mean? So this includes plans to enhance Bitcoin wallets to provide experiences comparable to traditional web applications and facilitate Bitcoin transactions through Google accounts. Google is exploring advanced encryption technology such as knowledge proofs, ZK proofs, to address trust issues between on-chain and off-chain systems. Google wants to basically take your normal Bitcoin wallet and make it adaptable for these basically these Web 2 off-chain products, but they're going to use ZK rollups to do that. So you're going to be spending your Bitcoin in it seems like almost like a layer 2 environment that Google is creating, and it's all going to kind of roll back on the chain. Is Google building a layer 2 for Bitcoin right now? Because that's what it sounds like.
Possibly, right? So this was something that I was talking about with the, the
Yeah.
2FA, right? Is that like I think that more of this stuff is going to happen, especially if like, crypto is accepted. This is huge. Google coming in and saying, they could be like a big like mass adoption mover, right?
Yeah.
And so this is really a big opportunity for the space. And I really hope that, they do come into it to build stuff that, Web 2 people will use, and that trust, like they mentioned, the trust issues that regular Web 2 people have with our space. So these are the entities that can really merge that gap of trust. And let's see what happens here. You have Google now that is looking at this. You have Sony that's participating now with their own chain. You have other stuff that other large entities that are starting to get into it, and those are the big movers I think are going to bring the mass adoption.
Yeah, 100%. Imagine buying Bitcoin with your Google account and then able to go to Amazon and buy something with that same Bitcoin, right? And it's all done in a fast-paced environment using, let's just say, a Google L2, and it's all kind of replicating on chain using ZK proofs. Like,
Yeah, I
it's
can see
to
that.
me, it sounds like the most bullish thing I've ever heard. You're gonna be able to use Bitcoin in the Lightning environment without using Lightning, but instead using it for a centralized Google wallet, but then kind of puts everything on chain later. Very similar to what Arch is building, very similar to what other people. I mean, this is Arch. This is what Arch is building. Like,
Exactly, dude. Exactly. So like, and that's the thing that makes me bullish on like ordinals and just the inscription technology,
yeah,
approach. Because now, you have a large entity like Google that's trying to earn the trust of normies by saying, hey, look, we're going to be in charge of this. And off-chain data and tracking and indexing is the best way to do it. Okay, like Google's been like a leading entity in technology for how many years, right?
yeah,
But then for us, we're like, oh my God, like they're literally doing off-chain indexing. That's what ordinals and
yeah,
inscriptions and VRC20s and runes and everything is pretty much about, right?
yeah,
So I mean, this could really be a big opportunity. I need to dive deeper into this to see what their
yeah,
approach is going to be, but um
yeah.
yeah.
What happens though if Google, let's just say they have a lot more money than Arch, right? So they're gonna get, if they want this product out, they can get it out very quickly, right? I'm sure they've been working on it for a long time. Which is what happens if Google puts out their own Bitcoin standard, right? And it's everything's like kind of like a Google standard, and they put digital assets over there that are not ordinals. They start creating their own version of digital assets. They start creating their own version of tokenization on Bitcoin using their basic, what basically what Arch is doing, but they're now Google's doing it. What happens if Google comes in and just runs the show here?
Well,
What happens
I
if
don't.
all these other digital assets?
Well, I think they become like looked at as like, like OG assets. And, I think basically the Bitcoin ecosystem starts to really build out at that point. And I don't think they go to zero or anything. I actually think the opposite. I think it brings the value up because now you're going to have people bridging left and right into like these new environments and stuff. Right. And then I think
Yeah,
at that point, like the Bitcoin ecosystem will, endorse bridging or at least like welcome it because they're like, oh, Google's building like
yeah,
Bitcoin assets over there. Like how much you see how much liquidity is over there, let's get some of our ordinals, or let's get the what I mean, that type of approach. And then probably still have the small percentage of people that want to self custody and all that stuff too.
dude. I think what Google is doing is game changing, and I think it does. I think it hurts the ordinals and runes and stuff like that. I truly believe that because this is Google. If they build their own type of off-chain ZK rollup and everything's kind of rolling up to Bitcoin to finalize the transactions, dude, This is Google. We're talking billions and billions of dollars. Like, I mean, yeah, you're right. Everything over here will be considered legacy and potentially one-to-one onto Google's system. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is scary for Ordinals and Runes. I think more scary than it is bullish.
I think opposite. I think that they're gonna probably look to people that have the experience over here as well. Because look, if you love Casey or you hate him, he has weight in his opinion in the crypto industry, right? And so he might not be like Vitalik's level or anything like that, but I do think that not everything over here, but there's going to be stuff that it definitely kind of solidifies and actually solidifies the asset classes over here, I think. But we'll see. Like, it's not here, we don't even know what this is happening, what they're doing with this and stuff like that.
I think most builders will pivot though to start building over there. That's kind of my point. A lot of these builders that have been building over here, they can just pretty much take their assets now and take what they've built, copy and paste it over to their system. Very similar to what we're going to see with Arch. If Arch drops tomorrow, you're going to see a lot of people that were building. I mean, Fluid, for instance, they were building a swap, and it'd just be easier to build it on Arch. I mean, that's swap, the borrowing and lending. And you're already seeing that with Fluid. Imagine if Google puts out something like what Arch is building, or better than what Arch is building. To me, I'm pivoting 100%. I want the token. I want the Google tokens, because
if it's
everyone in the world, Well, I mean, what do you mean by open source? It's Arch.
Like,
Arch really is an open source.
So what I'm saying is, like, if it's gonna be like, well, Google wants to control everything on here because they want to make sure that they can maintain the trust of these normies, right? I mean, like, there's somebody that could get away with that, right?
Well, Sonium is doing that right now. You have to get whitelisted to build. So I mean, you can do the same thing. I'm okay with that, because now I can trust everything I'm playing with. I'm not worried about. You know what I mean?
So in terms of like pivoting, you got to get approved, though, is my point, right? So if you're gonna we don't know what that process looks like. We don't know what the requirements are going to be. Like, you got to show funding, you got to show runway, you got to show all this stuff, instead of just coming over there to build and just to leave, right? So
to me, though,
I don't know.
If you don't have that, I'd be worried to play with your product over here.
Hey, like, I've been all about, like, having this more sustainable and trustable environment, right? Like, I've been all about that, merging traditional Web 2 with Web 3, but I don't know. I think we're probably speculating a bit too much on what this is going to be.
I don't think so.
On what this is going to be and what their approach is going to be, because we don't know what their approach is going to be. We don't know if they're going to whitelist builders. We don't know if they're trying to build a whole new app environment. And I think that's the stuff that we got to get the facts in before we're just kind of throwing assumptions around.
They're probably hiring some Bitcoin native builders as of right now.
I would imagine, but also think that, like, some of that information would be leaked a bit.
It's Google, dude. Surprisingly, I mean, dude, Google really doesn't leak shit. Surprisingly, but we'll see. But I think Google's about to enter the blockchain game, and they're about to enter it on Bitcoin. So, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Let's get into the fear and greed here. So last week was a 47. Yesterday was a 51. Pretty much the same as last week is my hit for today.
Last week was a 47.
Yeah.
So pretty much the same as, let's say, 48. 47. Okay.
Yeah. So right there. Really, really tired of this. Tired of this, Grandpa. Well, that's too damn bad. And we're kind of sitting here. I want to get out of here. I want to get back over here. But we'll see.
Everybody wants to get back. Everybody wants to get back. It's crazy, because the start of this year, I think most people didn't expect to be where we are, but as an overall industry. But sometimes that's how markets go, right? It's like you can have all the experience in the world. I have people on my timeline that experienced the past 2 cycles and have really good experience and had a lot of success last cycle, and they're dumbfounded right now, right? It's because they expected that 4-year cycle to just kind of come like it always does, and it's different. It's a little bit different right now, at least. But we'll see.
100%. All right, let's get into that Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by BitPerp. We're going to be joined really soon by Aiden. We're going to get into some updates with them as well. But BitPerp's going to be probably the leading leverage trading platform over here. Think Hyperliquid, guys. I think these guys are going to be like a baby Hyperliquid. That's really going to be amazing. We should definitely keep up with them and check out with them. I guess we should just jump right into that then, right? Or you want to do the
well, let's
let them stay up here for everything?
Yeah, you can jump up here. That's fine. Bring Instant from BitPerp up. Let's go ahead and do it. Hey, Instant, how are you doing?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good,
Going
man. How are
pretty
you?
well.
Good. I think my colleague's gonna join us here in just a minute, but we can get started.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Well,
go ahead.
we were just kind of get into it. Like we were about to get into the Bitcoin price action. So if you want to just kind of help us out with that, that's brought to them by BitPerp. And I'm actually calling you guys, a baby version of Hyperliquid. Is that safe to say, you think, what you guys can become in the future? I know that's a lot on your plate and stuff like that, but is that something potentially you guys could get into, like that type of area?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's ultimately what we're aiming to be. I mean, like Hyperliquid, I think is like one of the one of the best platforms out there, actually for like leverage trading, and even as a would-be competitor, I guess you could say, like, we do want to sort of emulate the success and the features and the incredible tech that they have, all while being more Bitcoin aligned. So if you're a fan of like Hyperliquid, then I think you should be a fan of us. When we do launch.
I couldn't have said it better. Absolutely amazing.
Yep. And with Hyperliquid taking this approach to where they kind of consider themselves like an app, like a chain app, because you can deposit directly from Arbitrum, and it doesn't have the centralized approach like something like Coinbase or Binance or whatever. And now they're coming out with their own chain. Like how would you? What's the best way to kind of view them? Do you think they're like what, like a chain app that is not a centralized exchange, but you get to that same experience on like a chain? What would you say?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I think you can kind of call it whatever you really want to. I mean, I think what we're trying to do is become like a DeFi super app as a whole, which I think like maybe Hyperliquid is, you could say, and we do have plans to sort of emulate like a lot of that sort of like chain app I guess approach that they're or app chain approach that they're that they're utilizing. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, because at the end of the day, you have, you can't really deny the impact that they've had in terms of volume. Maybe that has been taken away from the centralized exchange. So super excited with what BitPerp's going to do in that instance, but more aligned with the Bitcoin ecosystem, and really excited for that. But we're going to get some more dates, and welcome to the stage, Miriam. We'll get some more updates from you guys on BitPerp, but I want to jump into the price action here. Hey, I'm gonna jump into the price action here for the audience a little bit on Bitcoin, and then we'll get right back to you guys. But guys, before we get into Bitcoin's price action, if you wouldn't mind, on the YouTube side, sharing the space, hit that like for us, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. On the X side, hit that like for us and share the space, as we want to educate and onboard as many people to the Bitcoin ecosystem as possible. And also on the abstract side, if you wouldn't mind sharing the stream there, that would be greatly appreciated. And we thank you guys so much for helping us out there. Let's jump into some Bitcoin price action, which is not very pretty at the moment. You can see here, starting on the hour chart here, man, this wick came all the way down to 94, like 500 as we were, doing the show, 94,500. And it looks like, the guys in that at the 9:30 start that really kind of dictates the energy for the day wanted to take this thing down. You can see, we went from, being at like that 98,000. I believe that's where we started the day to no, sorry, we were up here, my bad. I'm on the hour chat. What am I thinking? 96,240 all the way down to 94,500. But it looks like we are trying to make a little bit of a comeback here. Let's take a look at the support and resistance on the hour chart, which does not look good for support. You can see I'm using the VRVP here, and at the price point we're at right now, at that 92,000, 95,000, which we just crossed back over, man, it's all resistance here. Yellow means resistance, blue means support. It's looking very, grim out here, guys. Our next real true level of support is, I don't even know. I don't see anything below us here. Above us, not looking great either. You can see 95.5 right here is probably the next area to where if we can get there, we can maybe try to sustain some, have some stability there. But yeah, guys, it looks like the second half of today could be bloody. We were going over the chart of the liquidation points, and I think the price points were like high 94,000s on the low side, and then the high side was like 98,000, right? So there's two big liquidity pockets there for the market makers to really liquidate the public. And we dropped all the way down to 94.5, so possibly that was captured. And it doesn't mean that we're going to shoot right back up, because it hardly ever happens that way. They linger around in, kind of that price point area, and then eventually work their way back up, because they don't want, all these people to take all these longs and make a bunch of money on them. So, but eventually, we'll get through this and probably try to grab that liquidity at 98,000. But second half of today, if I were to, take any type of position here on where the price is going to go, because I'm not taking a leverage position, I would say we're probably going to jump around, that 94.5 to 95.5, because I do think that liquidity was grabbed. But yeah, so not looking the best. You can see the leading indicators that I use here too, the stochastics. We're sitting at a 14.81, so we are below the oversold territory. But we just got there, guys, on the hour chart. So probably hang out here for a bit. The MACD looks not, the best if you like price go up. You can see that the MACD is looking like the sell pressure looks a bit strong here as well. So sorry I couldn't give you guys better news, but that is what it looks like for the second half of today. I do think that we don't go much below that 94.5 though. They grab the liquidity there, but it'll probably dance around this level for a bit. So that is what I'm seeing for the second half of today. The 4-hour chart just got uglier because of the 1-hour chart. You can see we got this sell pressure kind of building back up on the MACD again. So we weren't able to escape the sell pressure here on the MACD on the 4-hour chart, which gives us 2 to 3 days of insight on where Bitcoin can go. So think, to about Thursday. But this can also change very quickly, as I mentioned almost every time we go over the Bitcoin price action from the shorter time frames, right? The hour chart. If something happens, news comes out and that looks a bit prettier, this will, adjust, of course. That's how time frames work, right? We are below the 50-day EMA though, again on the 4-hour chart. And the VRVP is going to be something similar to that 1-hour chart, right? We got to get some big buys to kind of come in the area, that the zones that we are in now, to build up some stability, get that floor going for us so we can start to move our way back up. But unfortunately, as of right now, it does not look great. And yeah, let's get through. We'll get through this though. We've this has been kind of like the theme, I would say, probably for the past month or so. And they really wanted to take it down today, it seems like. So that's what I'm seeing for today and the next couple of days. But
let me ask you a question real quick. So now that we know that we're kind of in that pocket of 94 being liquidation price for the longs and 98 being liquidation price for the shorts, and do you think that maybe trading in that zone is okay? Maybe when we get down to 94, taking a long; when we get close to 98, taking a short. Would you play that in a sense of just trying to make some money while we sit here?
Not necessarily, because market makers are smart. They're market makers for a reason. They don't do it to lose money. That's why they hang around after a liquidity pocket's been hit, right? You might get like a long wick that hits and you're like, oh, we're done. But then what you'll see is like, it will kind of like, go create like this kind of consolidation type of activity. And then, try to revisit close to that wick. Now, if it does hit the pocket, I would say if you can catch that long wick down there and maybe, but that's a very, typically that happens very quickly. So it's really hard to do. Yeah, limit order, that type of situation. But again, they don't do this to make money. But I will say this, if you, are patient and you feel like, okay, that liquidation pocket's been hit. Now, there's one at 98,500 or whatever that number was that we saw on the chart there. We know we hit the one on the bottom. So if we're post CPI and post CPI, the last 6 post CPIs within 2 to 3, maybe 4 weeks, we see that pretty strong uptrend. This could be kind of like, we did get that knocked out. Let's go ahead and now we're going to start that post uptrend of the post CPI. And then that takes care of the market makers liquidating the shorts. Because that's one of the reasons too, that they hang around too, to get shorts. build up too. Oh,
Yeah,
we're gonna bleed
100%.
further. We're gonna bleed further. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think it will be smarter to like get a liquidity sweep of like daily swing low, or you can see it as a previous week low, because market makers are eyeing those big higher time frame levels. So after that liquidity is swept, then I would like wait for some confirmations like impulse shift or fair value gaps, some displacement out of that level. So you need to get a context on the hard time frame, which would be that sell side liquidity, and then get impulse shift or fair value gaps displacements to show with the smart money reversals from that context low, and then I will trade, because now in the range trading is like a choppiness. So I will just preserve my capital rather than like being
risky.
risky, and
Yeah.
getting beaten up by market makers.
Yeah. So Murian,
Yeah.
definitely appreciate your feedback there. So, with kind of the volatility that we've seen, the past month, I feel like the volatility has been there. But if you look at the history of the post CPIs, like they've been pretty much, like I said, like a 2-3 week kind of consolidation and then like an uptrend. Do you expect that to happen? Because like if you look at the chart from the past 6, it's been consistent, to where there's a period to where the uptrend starts after the CPI and before the next CPI data. Do you think that continues, or do you feel like we're in a really weird place to where the 6 in a
Yeah, we're in a weird place, but I rather trade like price action and not focus on the fundamentals, because fundamentals and news are just stronger moves towards where your price action is showing. Like it gives you that impulse in price. But tomorrow I think there is a FOMC meeting also, and there are a lot of like news. People are paying out the crash that was Kraken or something. FTX, FTX is paying like billions back into the market.
So tomorrow is the minutes. The Fed minutes comes out tomorrow.
Yeah. So it all depends on the data.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Sure. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah. I feel like there's definitely like this uncertainty type of feeling, right? And I think people are saying, okay, well, typically this is the late February, early March is that time where maybe alts get revved up again. But I think we are in a unique kind of geopolitical environment, and I think me personally, I feel like that has a lot to do with the delay of alt season as well as the Solana stuff. But do you feel like we still get like a spring fling up, or do you think we possibly could bypass it altogether and then have to be patient till Q4?
I hope so, because I think in March we'll go up, because if we don't, we're really like wrecked.
In trouble.
Yeah, we're in big trouble, because I don't know how we're gonna survive the summer. Many coins will go to zero, and only the strongest projects will survive. You can see what's happening on Solana right now. The project agents also going down. It's like on the Twitter, you can see how people behave. It's all a mind game, but it's really tough now. This bull market is really, really tough.
It's kind of good though that this is happening right now, though, especially with Solana, for the fact that I kind of want to get past that. I want to get to real utility. I want to get to projects with actually have something to offer, right? I want to get back to investing. I want to get back to hodling. So the fact that I wouldn't hodl the Trump token. I love Trump, but I'm not going to be a part of. Like, I don't want to hold that. I don't want to hold the president of Argentina's coin. Like, I don't want any of that crap. I want real projects with real opportunity to change innovation, to change the way we do things now, right? And I can't wait to get back to that stage.
Yeah, but even those projects right now are just dipping because of the current state of the Solana.
Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that this little wipeout that we had, this little wake-up call, I think this changes a lot.
I hope so. Or maybe people will be afraid and just gonna JIT like few X bags. When they
I've done that. Yeah,
it could be worse. It's actually affected the psychology of experienced people that are more experienced in hodling, but they've been in the space for like 8-10 years, right? Because they would normally hodl something and say, okay, I really believe in this, you know, and then over a 12-month period, their expectation is, okay, you know, I could look at taking profits at that point because this is the point of the cycle. But now they're taking their profits at, like you said, you know, 2-5x because they're like, oh my God, okay, now I'm up in this. Let me get out before it comes back.
Yeah.
So
I even had experience with this because recently, last Q4, I went and aped into Solana AI agent and it went 260x. And now it's just dipping. I haven't sold any. So I'm calculating and thinking. I'm debating with myself. It's hard, but we'll see.
yeah.
We're losing conviction.
Instant, I wanted to ask you, you know, because your team is really, you know, active in terms of, you know, the market and research and all this stuff. What is it like for a builder to see what's happening on Solana? You know, there's a capitulation type a situation happening. It's almost kind of like a black swan, a mini black swan within like you know, our space, but within Solana for sure. Do you see that like this is like a learning opportunity for the space? Do you think they take it? And what is a builder like you in a different ecosystem? How do you guys view it?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely super interesting to witness. I did have one comment on the Argentina coin, the Libra whole experience, where it's like, you know, I think the past week there are a lot of posts about like nation state FOMO, but like instead of like hodling Bitcoin, it's just about like nation state FOMO about launching meme coins, which is like, yeah, I don't know how many more countries are gonna be launching meme coins now that the trend has started. So we'll see.
Well, hopefully gets impeached or something, because I don't want him to go away, but hopefully no. Well, impeached doesn't mean gone. Right? Impeached means fighting a lawsuit. I hope something happens to where maybe other people, they, you know, maybe the president of Italy doesn't launch her coin, right? So
all right, yeah, I don't know. What's China coin next?
Oh man, I think we already have that. I think it's called the Chinese digital currency.
That's on a meme coin though, right? Wink, wink.
Well,
we'll find out.
Also, like with the platforms, right? Because like you see Jupiter like in the headlines. We dropped a blog article about that whole situation, and then like, you know, Meteora, which is underneath Jupiter, and it's like, you know, that trust from like a normie that just got into like Solana, I feel like would be crushed already, right? So like, how do we prevent other new emerging ecosystems like the Bitcoin layer 2 ecosystem to you know, stay away from this type of activity?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just like really, I think like there's a few advantages to Bitcoin, which is like it's just kind of harder to build on. It's like a new ecosystem. So I think all the projects and people in the space, such as you guys and us and a bunch of other platforms, are like really setting the culture on Bitcoin to be a lot less like ruggy. And I think like Solana always sort of had that culture kind of ingrained into them, even from like the very beginning, you know, for better or worse. And so like on one hand, I can kind of sit back from like the Bitcoin sort of ecosystem and say like, look at the, you know, the shit show that's kind of going on in Solana. You know, but like on the other hand, I think like this, you know, this impacts retail, I think overall, especially with like how big of like a brand name like Solana is and like how synonymous the casino is with that ecosystem. And so I think over at like, you know, BitPerp, like we're really just trying to like, you know, we're a degen perp dex or a degen platform, but like, you know, still trying to set like the precedent of like, you know, having very solid foundations, like, you know, giving traders like a very secure platform to make their trades on.
Yeah. You know, I think trust is really a big thing right now, right? Because of everything that's happened. And like you said, you know, like whatever's happening on Solana, they've had this kind of like dark cloud that follows them, and then they get rid of it and it comes back. It's weird. But at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, other emerging ecosystems like the Bitcoin layer 2 ecosystem has an opportunity here, and Bitcoin's ecosystem in general, you know, to be able to kind of re-earn the trust. But do you think like the opportunity is there, but do you think that like the space from a psychological level can shift back from this experience on Solana to holding better solid projects and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think like, I don't know, I feel like the 24-hour news cycle is like, you know, pretty I guess within like the psychology of the crypto industry in general. I think like it takes just like a few key moments like to rally the space again back into like, the back into the good graces, so to speak. But yeah, I don't know. I think like Solana just needs to like really like kind of like work itself out. Like eventually, I think like there's gonna be too many rugs. I think that happen in Solana, and then like a lot of holders are gonna be like kind of frustrated overall. And I think like that's the current sentiment we're seeing. I don't know like how like much further this is gonna keep going. Like I would assume like how much liquidity is there like left in the ecosystem for like another massive rug to like take hold. But yeah, I mean, like one of the benefits of BitPerp is that like in any market you can actually like if you want to short these meme coins on BitPerp you can. So feel free to come over to our platform.
Yeah. True. And one last thing I want to say on this, and we'll move on to your updates and stuff, is that the one thing I really hate about the platforms on Solana is that they don't give back. And when I say that, I mean you have like the Meteoras, you have the Jupiters that make tons of money in fees, and then you have the pump funds that the pump fund make so much, right? Like $15 million a day at one point. But like even if you're trying to be smart over there and you don't want to play in like the meme coins, like I couldn't invest in Pump Fund. Pump Fund just literally takes their fee money and sends it to Kraken, and then it's gone. Like that liquidity is gone out of our like entire crypto ecosystem. So it seems like you guys have this mentality and focus of giving back to your community. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. I think that like it goes to show like overall it's like a part of like the Bitcoin ecosystem I think is like trying to be like a lot more responsible with the platforms and like how we use everything. I mean, on like with BitPerp, we're allowing users to stake our token as well to earn like 50% rev share in BitPerp. So like that's a plus, like lots of governance and other utility as well. Great yield in our vaults. So like a lot of like ways for like people who believe in the platform. You don't even necessarily have to be like a trader to kind of get involved. And I think that starts with trust, and that's what we're really trying to build.
Love it. All right, so let's get into some updates that you guys have for us. I know there's probably not like a ton because you guys are just grinding in the background, with testnet and all that stuff, and then getting ready for like mainnet should be pretty soon here. But if you wouldn't mind kind of updating the community on BitPerp and what's coming up.
Yeah. So like really, really excited. I think last week or a couple weeks ago when we were last on, we were sort of just finalizing some big preparations for the remainder of the month and into March. Now I will say that testnet is very, very, very imminent. So any day now, we could be launching. That's going to come with some great community events. The long-awaited trading competition could be coming back as well. Also, we're preparing some great key partnerships with some communities in the space, in the Bitcoin L2 space. And also, mainnet should not be too far with like some massive news surrounding that. So I will say that like this week is going to be a very big week for BitPerp.
Nice. And we announced, I think we announced last week that you guys updated kind of the back end, right, to make the whole experience better. So I know there was like, we don't want to bore the audience, but there's definitely like coding changes and stuff that happened just to make it more efficient and stuff like that. So Murian, I would like to ask you as like a trader, how do you like that? Do you like, is it more like snappy? Is it just you feel better overall?
It's so smooth. I saw it. It's
Awesome.
gonna be so good.
Yeah, I think the experience is very important for traders, right? Like you don't want things to be lingering and stuff like that. So I'm excited that you guys did that.
We also, you're gonna see, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and for those who are unaware, we've been doing trader interviews with like people who are active in the space. If people want to sign up for that, they can on our Twitter. We have a link. But we've been taking real feedback from real traders who are super active in the space and using that to improve the whole platform overall. That's how much we care about like our community and like trying to create the best platform we can possible. So through that process, we know like the testnet had been down for a little while. But yeah, we rebuilt the entire back end to make the whole platform better, improved UI, added new features. So when it's back up, like, you know, definitely be like the first to trade on there. It's going to be a much better experience overall.
100%. Have you guys picked a test net that you guys will be going live on first? And then I'm not sure if you made it public yet of which mainnet you guys are going to be using on the L2s.
I'll say I think we'll reserve. We've probably made it public in a number of different ways, maybe not overtly. So I'll reserve like the mainnet announcement, but we should be live on our previous testnets as well. So if you were in there, if you were a part of our community and had used the testnet and one of our other testnets, Botanics will be live on. So yeah, you can use Botanics testnet again when we re-go live. Yeah.
Sounds
Love
great.
it. Love it.
Yeah, man. All right. You guys got anything else for us, or you guys good?
I think that's it. Yeah, really appreciate you guys having us on again.
Yep.
Yeah, no problem. Any last words, Marion?
Same as Ed in this instance said.
Amazing.
Perfect.
Well, thank you guys. Looking forward to next
Cool,
week,
guys.
and can't wait for testnet, guys. Can't wait.
Let's go.
Have a
All right,
good
take
one,
it
guys.
easy.
Bye. Survive
Bye.
until then. Bye.
Yeah, gotta survive.
Crying.
We gotta survive. Absolutely awesome. I love talking to those guys. We're privileged to have a weekly meeting with them, and we kind of get an inside scoop of what's going on and the building process. Really, it's really awesome to kind of talk to the teams. If you guys are out there and you guys want to get involved, get involved with some of these teams and just like be a part of them. You know, tell me help advise them, and really give them your opinion on a lot of stuff. And that's kind of what we do. We just kind of give our opinion on a lot of stuff, and it's really cool to see the process. So we've been talking to BitPerp for going on 6 months now, and just watching them kind of go through the process of building. It's something that I've never experienced, right? Like I came from a machinist background, so I've never got to see a tech company get built from the ground up. And that's kind of what we're seeing with BitPerp, especially with the pivots and the strengths and some of the weaknesses that they're actually improving on daily.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's gonna wrap everything up, right? Or did you have something else?
We got some stuff here. So let's kind of get into today's roll call that I accidentally skipped. But yeah. So we're going to be making some changes here, guys, in the future. So right now it's kind of like bulked up with the Bitcoin stuff news, and then not much with the Ordinal stuff because really isn't much. But we're going to be going through some changes in the future, and you guys are going to be a part of that. It's probably going to be next week, but we're going to start breaking things down into patterns so you guys can get used to seeing the patterns coming up. But right now everything's kind of just squished in the beginning, and that's why we're kind of pushing the roll call and the Bitcoin price action back. But we're going to figure out the best way to do content, and I think I have some ideas where we're still going to be talking about it. For right now, just deal with us. We got like another week before we make some changes, but you guys will be a part of that. And if you are a member, you will be we're going to do a members video if you're down to kind of go over all the changes with the members before we make the official changes. Right? Cool. All right. Let's kind of get into the roll call here. First is first on this show, and we got my man. Where is it?
Danny?
No, it's Danny, but I can't find the other. It's already on the screen. All right, cool. With the roll call, my man, and first as always, dude, Danny has joined the 5 Club. I know Saturday Night Live has a 5 Club, so we're gonna have a 5 Club here. Danny has joined the 5 Club. He has officially been his 5th. His last win was on the 13th, and he has won today, the 18th. Shout out to Danny. Tim Baker won yesterday, but it's weird, dude. It's like I thought, okay, never mind. So Tim Baker won last Monday. Webdro was Tuesday. Danny was Thursday. But shout out to Danny Boy joining the 5 Club. Who's the closest? Who's the next closest to joining the 5 Club? It's probably Tim Baker, honestly, and maybe a couple of you other guys, PJNZ, potentially as well. Yeah,
I get
PJNZ
so
has
confused
4.
because like I see their names multiple times, and then like at the end, but so like the latest number that they have next to them is the total tally, right?
Yeah, that's the total.
Okay,
Yep.
gotcha.
So that's kind of the way I'm going to go. Let's go to their last one and just add one number to it. So, but yeah, so Danny got 5 here. Tim Baker 2. Webdro got 8. Yasher sitting there with, where's Yasher? Yeah, 5. So Yasher's in the 5 Club, Danny's in the 5 Club, and Webdro is in the next. PJNZ and he's 1 away. So let's get PJNZ his next. Chief Axel got 2. Mempo Punk got 1. And ASAP Benji has 2 as well. So shout out to you guys. But let's finish this off here. We have Danny Boy with a yes. Yeah, it must be great though. How great of a feeling it is to get that #1 spot. You're probably just so quick to just put your comment in to make sure you get it, and then your next comment's just like yes. I love it. Absolutely love it. Webdro came in 13 minutes after Danny. Shout out to you guys, man. Absolutely awesome. And then I love how they congratulate each other too. And then 2 hours later, ASAP Benji came in. Danny, what a year. And then Webdro, a 10-day 5% price range. Can't wait for this breakout. What do you think Webdro is saying here? 10-day 5% range.
He's talking about
wait.
up and down. He's
Okay.
talking about up and down. So 5%
Gotcha.
Bitcoin's going being, a swinging.
Gotcha. PJNZ says, I'm so slow. Must be getting old. You'll get there, bro. You're one away from the 5-time club. Pulse Chain, altcoin talk. I'm gonna watch your channel. I actually used to play in Pulse Chain a little bit when it first came out. Danny Boy says, well, there's a big scandal exposed from the Meteora insiders are guilty of. Could be the FTX of the cycle, Melania and Libra and some others. Yeah, for sure, man. Danny Boy's at Degenerate News X 25 minutes video whistle blew. I'll have to check that out. I guess that's on Twitter. Awesome. Crypto DOG Degen says, let's go. Good to be here. Thank you so much for being here, man. Appreciate you. Steamy J says, GM boys. Anagi's with a let's go. Followed by Rick G. Long live BTC and Ordinal Revolution. Thank you so much, Rick G. Cheaty is here. Says, what's up, guys? ASAP Benji. Yo, Mr. Yagabi, is there any future for Bitcoin frogs? I heard the founder abandoned the project. We actually met the founder in New York, but this is the question.
Frog Toshi. Yeah, I don't know if he abandoned the project, but we met Frog Toshi in New York. I think he's from Singapore maybe or something, but
yes,
I don't know if he abandoned it, but the Bitcoin frogs, in my opinion, they're like immortalized, right? Or they're in my opinion, because they're like the first 10K collection. They'll always have that history. And at the end of the day, you have to remember CryptoPunks was kind of just, once it came out, it was like there was no like front face other than some celebrities that had it. You kind of want the actual assets to kind of carry their own weight, right? And I do think frogs will always be in that classification until, and I could be wrong about this, but until like you see volume completely dry up to where like you haven't seen a sell in like, I don't know, a week or so. But let me actually see when the last Bitcoin frog sale was. And that's the thing about frogs, is that like they're always being traded. And I mean, 23 minutes ago, 50 minutes ago, 2 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 6 hours, dude, frogs are here to stay. So once the Ordinals space comes back and it has that full effect again, I think frogs will thrive. So hopefully that makes you feel better, because like just always go look at the volume. If the volume's still there, man, like, they're here.
Yeah, I mean, to your point here, 0.157. But I mean, 0.157 on the daily, though. I mean, that's only two frogs.
No, but you have to, but that's because of the floor price, right? So if you go click on the actual frogs and you see the sales, that's what matters to me. Like, there's still volume of sales. I don't know why yours isn't showing, but it should show on the right side. Oh, there it is, activity. I mean, look at that. I mean, there's just like multiple a day, like, consistent. It's very consistent.
Yeah. It seemed to be a lot of the same ones, though.
I mean, but yeah, like there's projects that like haven't sold stuff and
yeah, that's true. That's true. So they're about $900 right now for a frog, the lowest I've ever seen them, really. I've never really seen them below $1,000 in my crypto time here. Do you think they go lower, or can I grab one of these at 500?
They could go lower. Everything could go lower. I mean, look at Ordinal Maxi Biz at 0.081. Puppets at 0.047. That's crazy.
Wow.
So Node Monks at 0.051. That's getting close, man. It's getting close to where we got them. It was the first week they launched, though, right after the Dutch auction, right? And
what was it? Like
0.04.
0.04? Yeah. Wow.
Well, the Dutch auction was 0.033, I think.
Yeah.
And then they only went up to like 0.04. They went up to like 0.06, and then they pulled back. That's whenever we grabbed them. So I don't know. It's looking juicy to me. But frogs are looking juicy to me too. I mean, at that $900, that's pretty chep.
So these are down about, I want to see the 7-day on the OMBs. Oh, wow, 30%. Wow, everything's down like 20%. This is getting freaking brutal.
Depressing.
Oh my goodness. Like, wow. But dude, you got to remember too. So when I think about these projects here, I think about, you know, what someone said to me really recently. I can't remember who said it. They said that oh, it was Kimmy Boy in our meeting with Foxy. He said that you could have minted the Bored Ape Yacht Club in 2018 for basically free.
Yeah.
And they went to $500,000. Some of them.
And
You got
he said
lucky to
that
get
the
a rare one,
entire
but
NFT sector like bombed. Well, I mean, it was 2019, 2020, right? Like, and he said
yeah.
that they just weren't doing much. And then they had their resurgence in 2021. So yeah, you know. But I want to shout out 5D05 on the abstract streaming side. They tipped us a little bit of ETH, so shout out to you.
Nice. Thank you.
And thank you for that.
Yeah, man. Is that the only one over there on abstract?
Yeah. Yep.
All right,
Yep.
got a few more over here. Itatoshi says, GM lads. Itatoshi, it's been so long, my friend. Our guy, we love Itatoshi here. Post chain, Altcoin Talk says GM. Claudiu says, yo, what's up? Akala says GM. Superfan, our guy, legendary right here, says GM. And we got myself. You might have already hit on this one. What sucks is that numerous small-time scammers are following in the footsteps of big grifters. These third world country citizens will rug you for $40. Yagami was just saying that like last week in a conversation we had privately. So that's
big money. That's big money for like a third world country like Nepal or you know some of these other countries that you know they're good at being tech savvy, right? And so for them to earn like even like 50, 80 and they're like they can easily earn like $100 a day, right? If they're just like disciplined to just taking that little bit in each one, but that's big money for them.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
So,
yep.
And I'll say this, I feel like they feed into the pump funds, they feed into the moonshots and stuff like that. So
100%. Kai Effect says GM guys. Shout out to Kai Effect, our guy. No is here. Says GM to all. GM to you, no. I say his name. I always guys are good. No. Shout out to you, my friend, with his Nuki. Myself is here. Says gold and silver have great industrial use cases. So no, they used to. This is actually a myth. I promise you. So there's a medical grade titanium that was discovered probably like 8 or 9 years ago that has almost the same industrial use cases as is gold and silver. And I know that because I used to work at a place where they used to coat their metal in gold, but they stopped doing it when they found this medical grade titanium. So the only people that are actually using gold for anything is the armies and stuff because they can afford it. Any small company is finding other use cases for this, and they're just using the army and stuff are just using kind of your taxpayer money. So that's why I don't care about using this gold shit. But there's a medical grade titanium that was discovered like 8 or 9 years ago that has all the properties of gold and silver. Blonde Bro says gold has anti-corrosion properties. Titanium has the same ones, man. Same exact ones, and it's actually lighter than gold, and it's way cheaper. I Walk Alone says GM. Blonde Bro says gold plated electrical switches. Again, you're gold plating them. You can just use titanium. It's useful in low power. Titanium is the same way. I promise you. These are used in military and space. Yes, because military are using your taxpayer money. They don't care about using really expensive shit for no reason. So that is why they're used in military, and spacecrafts don't use that anymore because gold is no longer a certified metal anymore in spacecrafts. You got to be. There's a term called ISO certified, and gold is no longer an ISO certified metal. And the guys, I'm a CNC machinist. I lived metal for 15 years. Like,
but they're getting their information from ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is wrong, I guess.
Well, no, it's not wrong. It's just outdated information. I promise you, it's outdated information. And then me said, is gold useful electronics? ChatGPT. While alternative metals exist, yes, 100%. Gold remains preferred choice in many critical applications where reliability. See that's an old thing because. So right now, the biggest creator of motherboards and stuff like that are Intel and NVIDIA, and they do not use really any gold anymore. Kai Effect says, as far as gold argument, I believe one day Bitcoin will have a physical use case.
Oh.
What do you think he means by that? What do you think a physical use case for Bitcoin would be?
I'm trying to think, like, unless it can exude like energy or like yeah, I don't know. I mean, like the only thing would be like being able to like not the Bitcoin itself, because like Bitcoin is
Yeah.
like data transfer, right? Um, unless like the Bitcoin powers something, maybe
Yeah.
it's like the data the Bitcoin powers something. I'm not sure. Honestly, I would love to hear some ideas, Kai Effect, because like
Yeah.
I like my brain right now is trying to figure, like, it's definitely trying to figure out what Bitcoin could be used as from a like a tangible perspective,
Yeah.
but it would have to be like a digital like information transfer that ignites something that can move, like
Yeah.
something like that.
Unless we all have these nodes, like let's just say these become nodes, right? And you can trade your Bitcoin node for stuff in the future. I mean, that's definitely something. Danny says, "Uh-oh." Danny boy said, "Yay." Web Joe says, "Danny boy." Yup, exactly. ASAP Benji says, "Sigh of relief. Through it's dropping. It's all
Though it's
good.
dropping.
Though it's dropping, it's all good." PGNC says, "I'm getting ETH NFT flashbacks." Yeah, I agree, man. I definitely agree. Yeah, I really didn't until we talked to Kimmy Boy from Foxy, who will probably be joining us in about 3 hours if you guys can be playing the Foxy game with us, and I hope you guys are. So that'd be cool to walk around and get Kimmy for a little bit. But his server, his internet isn't the best, but it should be fun to play with him. Claudia says, "Any good tool to extract sats from inscriptions on ordinals?" BRC20s got around 2,000 inscription. Yes. So
Tap wallet.
yes, exactly. So you want to go to the Tap wallet, and I can actually show you how to do it really quickly. So it's real simple, real easy. So let me share screen, go up here, upload. I got my Tap wallet right there. Should pop up in a second. I'm gonna put my pin in there, confirm it, and then this is my wallet. So all you got to do, right, is go to your inscriptions, and you'll hit this right here, and then just click them, right? Just make sure your inscription doesn't have, like, I accidentally did a couple of my Tap tokens. Not a big deal. I wanted to keep them, but it's all good. And so just hit there and then confirm. And what that does, it makes it spendable. So now you're able to send that. Do not send that to a Unisat or Xverse wallet, but send that to your Coinbase account or your Cash App account or any centralized exchange that you use, and that'll send it as Bitcoin. Super cheap. It is the best way to extract your value of your sats. So shout out to Benny, shout out to the Tap team, one of the better tools that they have created. So shout out to them.
Yep.
All right. So Claudia says all materials will be obsoleted soon by nanometals. Nanomaterials. Yeah. We'll see. I have no idea what a nano material would be. I guess
It's like tiny, very, very
Okay.
tiny. Think nanobots, right? They utilize nanobots in medical situations to, unclog arteries and stuff like that. I don't know how I feel about that, having a microscopic robot in my body, but I mean, it's happening.
100%. Claudius, WebJoe says Claudio and gave him, yeah, you can use that one as well. I never used that before, but I just use the Tap wallet. Claudius says, WebJoe, I tried with that, not working as planned. WebJoe says, do you mean the extract padding is being output as a single UTXO or the Ord wallet instead? Yeah, the Tap wallet is actually the easiest place, guys, if you guys want to use it. Claudius says, oh, I need a Tap wallet. WebJoe, yes, something like that. Claudius says, research, yeah, what's that, graphene and nano materials? Yeah, I mean, I'd rather research crypto, but yeah, it's an investment.
I'll probably research it because I love the nerdy stuff.
WebJoe says thanks for that. Probably no fee on the Tap wallet either. Yeah, there is zero fee. Obviously,
is there?
Well, so there's a fee in the UTXO. So when you're sending them out, you got to pay for each UTXO. But right now, Bitcoin being so cheap, it's like 30 cents. It's so much. I mean, it's still something. It adds up if you do 50, but it's really not that much. But I would do it, especially when the mempool is low. I have some quick things to get to right now, real quickly. But so Merlin Chain, Bitcoin isn't for hodling anymore. With MBTC, you can unlock new reward opportunities across access across chain liquidity and maximize capital efficiency. And they had a crap. It was up here. Anyway, so they're basically using MBTC now to kind of really push in on all these Bitcoin L2s and even Ethereum L2s. MBTC is their wrapped Bitcoin, and you guys can get some serious liquidity opportunities with using it. So definitely check out everything that Merlin Chain is doing with that. Foxy, I was just talking to you guys about Foxy AI agent metaverse. Basically, Clan Wars challenge with Ordinal Revolution. Think you have what it takes to be the MVP? Defeat Aaron and claim $150 and a Bitminer. I'm actually going to match that. So if you're able, dude, Aaron is unbeatable.
He's unbeatable.
My money will stay clean in my wallet. But if you're able to, and you think you got what it takes, if you're a Call of Duty master, use your skills in the Foxy game here, and you can win potentially $300 and 1 Bitminer. So definitely check this out. If Aaron throws this game, I'm going to be pissed at him. But no, I'm just kidding. But if you can defeat Aaron and claim it, I will match the $150 reward and the Bitminer. I'm not matching the Bitminer because I only got 3. I don't want to give mine up. But I will match the $150 reward. So shout out to Foxy. It's going to be fun, guys. It's about 2 hours and 20 minutes from right now. So check that out. It's going to be fun. And I think that is all we got. We'll hit on the last thing tomorrow. I add that for tomorrow's list. But
Yeah.
Hour and 40 minutes. It's over 200 people. So
yeah, I feel like Aaron like eats pizza while he's playing or something. Like he literally is like just that good. I mean, he's the founder of the game, but yeah. I Walk Alone. You should be able to, because I'm telling you right now, if you can't get in, then it's probably something with your browser or your machine. But here, let me give you guys the link. I want you to try right now. Yeah, I want you to try right now and see if you can get into the Bitverse part. I'm putting the link in there right now, and then message me. I Walk Alone. I promise I'll get back to you because go ahead.
There was one issue that they fixed. They told us. They said when the game started, people had trouble getting in, and could have that been the problem that I Walk Alone was having, trying to get in maybe after the game started? Because we all got in before the game started, right? We didn't see any really new people coming in, so I think that was an issue.
But they fixed it though,
and they did fix it. So we should have new people entering this time. I noticed that new people weren't coming in.
Yeah. So after you get in to the link I just sent you, select What was it? Bitverse. Gotcha. You got to select the clan, just select anything, and then select Bitverse. Don't go into Clan Wars yet because you can't get in there. And then let me know if you can get into Bitverse. I'll probably jump in here in about like 30 minutes or an hour before our stream. Just mess around in there, but yeah, it should be fixed. Excited to see you guys in there. I can't wait till we get like actual voice, because that's gonna be fun. Hey, he's in. All right, cool,
awesome.
And sorry I didn't get back to you last time I Walk Alone. I was trying, but at the same time I was trying to play, but yeah, so it seems like it works. So anyways, great show today, guys. We're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it together. One thing I mentioned the Shizzy pre-show was that like being here every day matters. Just because let's say that you lose interest, right? And you just disappear for like a month or two. And I know people have personal things, so I'm not saying if it's personal, like death in family or something you're going through mentally or whatever, I understand. But if it's just you lost interest and you're like, it's never gonna happen. I mean, that's where you could miss like an alt season in 2 months, right? So I say if you're at least paying attention, glancing, learning, stuff like that, then you should be able to benefit from this bull run in some way that you would have missed if you were to obviously not being here. But that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to stay focused no matter like the distractions with Solana, with whatever's happening. We're still going to show up every day, and hopefully you guys can with us. But we thank you so much for hanging out with us, and if you wouldn't mind checking out our partners, we greatly appreciate that. As you guys know, it helps us out a ton. Emblem Vault is going to be the interoperability tool for Bitcoin Layer 1 assets, more specifically Ordinals. You're going to be able to jump your Ordinals from Bitcoin Layer 1 to Abstract to Base to Merlin Chain and all different types of environments. With this chain abstraction movement that's happening, we think that Emblem is going to be the #1 resource for that. So they also have their AI Bitcoin wallet coming out that you can prompt to actually help you jump your assets over and make Bitcoin trades as well using Agent Hustle. And don't forget, they have a rune that's going to be coming out in September for their TGE, and you can actually trade that in NFT ERC 721 format right now on OpenSea. If you just search Emblem Founder Vault Keys, you'll be able to find that. But you can learn more at emblem.vision. And then BetBTC is the predictions marketplace for the Bitcoin ecosystem. They have a bunch of markets that you can place bets on. All you need is an X1st wallet, some Bitcoin, and it takes 6 blocks and you can start placing bets right away. They're going to have a feature called create your own markets that you can create for yourself and your audience, your following. It doesn't matter. They're going to have a easy to use social tool as well to help you with that. And you can earn up to 1.5% on the total volume there. Super excited about that. You can learn more at betbtc.win. And then BitPerp is the perps and leverage decks of the Bitcoin ecosystem. Super excited about their testnet coming up soon. They're going to have some major announcements that we know about, but we're going to let them announce that once they are ready. But yeah, you're going to be able to trade synthetic runes, BRC20s, all types of Bitcoin fungible tokens, as well as tokens outside of the ecosystem that you can short, like he mentioned earlier. So stay tuned with BitPerp. You can learn more at bitperp.io. And then Fluid Tokens, these guys are actually at Consensus in Hong Kong. So if you're there, make sure you stop by their booth. But they were the first to introduce staking vaults to the public on Bitcoin Layer 1. Amazing devs there. They have their dog Go to the Moon staking season 2. We're trying to talk to them, see if maybe there's a little something that maybe, could happen with that. We'll see. But right now you can stake for that to earn. And I think the staking vault is going to be open right at around the time of Bitcoin 2025 in Las Vegas. Super exciting. If you have an Ordinal collection with established community, you can try to get a vault set up with Raul, which is the CTO there. Learn more at fluidtokens.com. And then Merlin Chain, your #1 scaling solution for Bitcoin native L1 assets and protocols. If you are a builder on Bitcoin Layer 1 and you want your protocol to be a bit more flexible, you can apply for the Merlin Chain Builders Grant. A couple of our partners got into that program. It's not impossible. You just got to apply and be a serious builder there. If you're a retail user and you want to swap for Dog Go to the Moon on Merlin Chain, you can use merlinswap.org. You can use your Merlin tokens or wrap Bitcoin to swap for that. Learn more at merlinchain.io. And don't forget about our integrated partners in Foxy. We're going to be live streaming the Clan Wars today at 3 p.m. Eastern. All of you guys are invited on the abstract side. Anybody watching on YouTube and X as well, Rumble too. Any platform we're streaming on, you guys are invited. All you need is a Bitcoin wallet to be able to log in, and you got to choose your clan, and we can start playing right away. 3 p.m. Eastern, don't forget. And then Ordinal Hive is the aggregator Ordinal marketplace for Bitcoin L1 and L2. Cheapest Ordinals around on Ordinal Hive. Thank you guys so much for checking out our partners.
Yep. And if you guys wouldn't mind checking out ordinalrevolution.com, we have some of the best articles dating all the way back to last year. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like I help them get caught up and get started where we are today. So definitely check out everything here at ordinalrevolution.com. We have some of the best articles, guys. Read these as soon as possible. If you guys need a VPN, we have the best VPN. That's Nord. Check everything out here. You shouldn't be going to websites with your IP hanging out. I don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. They actually gives your address away. You don't want that, guys. Get a VPN. If it's not Nord, there's free ones out there. Just not as good as Nord. Nord is $3 a month. I would definitely get one if you can afford it. If you're going to Bitcoin 2025 Las Vegas, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. Potentially Bitcoin at all-time highs. Everyone going insane. You do not want to miss it. But get your tickets as soon as possible. Do not wait until May when the event takes place, because the tickets will be so overpriced. It's all about supply and demand, and right now there's more supply and demand. Every Friday it seems like these prices go up, guys. Do not wait. Get your tickets as soon as possible. And if you guys need merch for that event or any event, we do have some of the best merch in the entire crypto ecosystem. Check everything out at ordinalrevolution.com. This is our Shopify, all through that same site, and it takes you to the third-party site that we use, and you guys can get some of your favorite stuff. But guys, we are live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys, and until tomorrow, or until an hour from now.
Peace.
We OG, oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Yeah, experts on reload. Yeah. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock. Ayy. Runes is coming. Everybody on a knot. Ayy. It's a nuisance. Ordinal Revolution. Ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit's on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.